to state that you can see we've got no secrets in the faculty, so we make decisions based on reality. Okay. Now, the whole concept of how the workshops will be structured and how the syndicates will work was formalized at the faculty meeting in November. And subsequent to that meeting, we published a very comprehensive minute which set out everything about how everything in the course or the program is going to work. Now, some of those things that we envisaged in November have had to change as a result of practical realities. The most significant of which are the number of people that are going to attend the workshops. So we've had to make certain changes. So what I propose to do today is to read to you, because they're relevant to how the syndicates will work, the resolutions that we made in November that I believe are still current. Wherever I'm going to come to a thing where I think a change is necessary, I'm going to alert the faculty that that is a change, the reason for the change. Then the faculty will approve the change or reject the change. Okay, so that we're all on the same page. Now, the method of training is something which is new for all of us. We had a pioneer course in the Foundations of Medico-Legal Practice where we dealt with competence and ethics. And everybody wrote an exam. But people have to do it in practice. So the whole purpose of this series of workshops is to train the practical doing of it. One of the very challenging issues is how do you train people in 10 different professions to do a thing which is limited to 1 or 2 or 3 of those professions. So we bent our minds around how to do that. So the underlying principle there is that we are not teaching an occupational therapist how to do occupational therapy testing. That she is capable of doing. What we are teaching the occupational therapist is how to contribute your knowledge and insight so that other experts and lawyers and courts can benefit from your insight. And also how the report of the medical expert and the psychologist and the occupational therapist and the industrial psychologist all come together, because it all forms part of something that eventually the counsel is going to have to present to the court and the judge will have to understand. Okay. So part of it, strangely enough, is that in all of this, the court is a lay person. So part of the most challenging aspect of being a medical legal expert is to put it in such a way that a layperson can understand. So we have to put our concepts logically, factually, and clearly. Now, we have invited what we refer to as core workshop participants to volunteer as syndicate leaders. What we mean by core workshop participants is those people who have registered for all 5 workshops. And you will understand it doesn't help to have a syndicate leader in group 1, workshop 1, then that person isn't at workshop 2, and then somebody else must take over the syndicate at number 2. Because the functioning of the syndicates must be uniform and it must go through all the workshops. So I really want to thank every one of you that is here and online who have answered that call and volunteered to do this job. I think that those who function as syndicate leaders will benefit more from the workshops than those who do not. But the way that we have conceptualized it, it will not be too difficult for anybody. So irrespective of your profession and irrespective of your level of experience in medico-legal work, the way it is designed is such that everyone should be able to do it. So let me just explain, I'm jumping a little bit, but to explain that concept. How we're going to do it for the traumatic brain injury workshop, which is the first in 2 weeks' time, is like this. there's a full day of lectures. That lecture will explain all sorts of things. But in the lecture there are things called core learning points. So they are the crucial things that if you understand those crucial things, you can actually cope. Then the assignment, we had originally intended to give people a fact sheet and say write a neurosurgical report on traumatic brain injury, on those facts. But now we've only got 2 weeks between workshop day 1 and 2. Okay? And it's the first thing, nobody's used to how the syndicates work, so it's all new, so we've made it simpler. It's going to work like this. I'm going to provide a fact sheet, which is a real fact sheet, so it's my factual summary of a real case. And then you will be given a question sheet. And I'm going to just read the provisional question sheet. There will be a few questions added to this. And I think that all of you will understand that anybody who's in any way connected to medico-legal work will be able to answer these questions. Right. So it says, in the accident, Mr. X sustained a chest injury with pneumothorax, a fracture of the right femur and a soft tissue injury of the lower back, as well as various lacerations, abrasions and bruises. He also sustained a head injury with traumatic brain injury. So you are given a case of polytrauma and there is a brain injury. Now the question.
Speak up a bit.
Okay, question 1. What evidence, if any, have you found for an injury to his head? So there, for example, the answer will be, he says that he had a cut on his forehead. Or the hospital record says there was a bruising in the right temporal area. That will be in the fact sheet. Then, question 2. What evidence, if any, have you found for a primary diffuse concussive brain injury? So you'll say, the person thinks he lost consciousness, and or the person reports post-traumatic amnesia, and or the hospital records say loss of consciousness, and or the coma scale on arrival at hospital was 14 or 13. Any one of those would be a relevant answer to that question. Now, is there any evidence of focal brain injury or secondary brain injury? Now here it says, and please provide reasons for your answer. So the answer is yes. And then the reasons, so focal brain injury, for example, the right arm was paralyzed, the right pupil was dilated, the brain scan showed a hemorrhage in the left frontal lobe. Secondary brain injury, he came in with a coma scale of 14, that means he had a mild primary injury, but by the time he left hospital his coma scale had gone down. Or he had a prolonged post-traumatic amnesia that is not consistent with a mild injury. So it got worse.
So would that explanation of what you're explaining with us be in the lecture?
Yes, the explanation will be in the lecture, and the facts for this case will be there in the fact sheet.
So your answers, I'm saying, I wouldn't be able to answer it based on not having that information, right?
No, but in the lecture everything will be explained, okay, and discussed. Then the fact sheet, there will be the hospital record, for example, casualty records, coma scale 14, then the day by day, then 3 days later, coma scale 12. So you will see the coma scale went down, for example, okay? Then, question 5, what is the degree of brain injury according to the initial dense phase of PTA method of classification? So in the fact sheet there will be the information describing what the person remembers and doesn't remember, where they came to their senses. In the lecture you've got a table that says so many hours it's this, so many hours it's that, so many days it's that, and that's your motivation.
PTA is post-traumatic amnesia.
Yes. And then what is the degree of brain injury according to the GCS method of classification? And there's a table that shows you. So you find the fact, the table is there, and you put them together. That is your reason. Then, maybe the most important question of all, has he recovered from the brain injury? Okay? So there the answer is either yes or no. But you must provide reasons for your answer. So if you say that he's recovered, you can't say, well, we know all people with a GCS of 15 recover, because that's not true. Okay? If you say there is recovery, there must be evidence of recovery. So you will say, because the school report says there's no problem, or because he says there's no problem, or because the neuropsychology report says there's no problem. Okay? But if he hasn't recovered, you must say, what is the evidence you found to say there's not recovery? he has not recovered, what persistent sequelae of brain injury have been reported by Mr. X and or the collateral informant. That will be in the fact sheet. So when they complain of back pain and difficulty walking because of the sore knee or the stiff hip, that won't be due to the brain injury. But if they complain of forgetfulness or concentration difficulties, you will know that's due to the brain injury. Okay, question 8. What impairments of cerebral neurological function have been observed by the expert examiner? So that you find under clinical examination findings, it will be there. Then, what is the degree of his brain injury according to the outcome method of classification? That is maybe even more important than the most important question. All right. And the outcome method of classification is defined in the lecture, and based on that you will have a clear answer for that. And finally, have the sequelae of the brain injury affected the amenities, life roles, learning capacity and or employment capacity of Mr. X? Please provide reasons for your answer. So is there anybody here who thinks that that is conceptually too difficult to answer in an answer sheet? Or for a syndicate leader, if they have these answers, to be able to evaluate the answer of other people in your syndicate? Is that too much to ask? No? Okay. So, but the funny thing is, even though it's so simple, the fact is there are many, many, many neurosurgeons, neurologists, psychologists who either don't know this or ignore this when they write medico-legal reports. And so the purpose of this is to spread a uniformity of insight into the simple aspects of brain injury. And understanding those simple aspects are going to give an improvement to the level of practice in South Africa. Okay, so the function of the syndicate leaders will be this. You will be allocated a syndicate of which a certain number, 2 or 3 or 4 people, will be core syndicate members. That means they will be with you throughout all 5 workshops. So that forms the core of your syndicate. You'll get to know each other. Then, people who are going to attend workshop 1, but not all the other workshops, will be allocated to your syndicate as guest syndicate leaders. Okay? So you have your core group and your guest group. So at the subsequent workshops, the guests will change, but the core group will remain the same. All right? Now, the job of the syndicate leader is to have the names and contact details of the core and guest people in their syndicate. And after the day 1 of the workshop, to arrange a syndicate meeting for those people. And as many as possible should preferably attend the syndicate meeting in person, but those who are remote from where you are will attend online. So just like Ashley is doing a video links connection now for this meeting, each syndicate leader will be given a video links license. That means you'll be given a particular license number, and that license number will be the virtual meeting space that you control for your syndicate meeting. So you know the number, you give that number to all members of your syndicate, and Ashley will teach you how to open an online video links meeting, how to invite people to the meeting, and how to run the meeting. Now, in November, we said we want to have 10 to 15 people in the syndicate. After that, Trevor Reynolds, who's in charge of the psychology workshop, said that that's too much. We need 8 to 10. So I accept that. This is the first change. So can I just ask the faculty and everybody?
No, I think I supported that as well, 8 to 10, if I remember correctly.
So it's more manageable if the syndicate leader has to cope with 8 to 10.
Anyone objections to that? No objections.
So there that is. Then, the next change that we have from the way we described it in November is the following. We said that the syndicate leader is appointed by faculty, which is still the case. Then, just in case anybody in the syndicate thinks that there's skullduggery going on, the syndicate will appoint a deputy syndicate leader by voting. Okay, so one is elected, the other is voted. Okay? And that The syndicate leader and deputy syndicate leader together will evaluate the assignments of the members of the syndicate and give a mark. Okay? Now, that concept, a lot of people who have volunteered to be syndicate leaders have said they are uncomfortable with that. Okay? I've heard people say, look, I am such and so now I've got a senior advocate in my group, and how can I help you? Okay? Well, the fact is you can. But we now propose, and this has been really brainstormed between Trevor and myself, so Trevor, if I get anything wrong, you just tell me. But the concept now is the following. For each workshop, there's an expert panel. So that is a group of the faculty is responsible for running that workshop. We will allocate syndicates to workshop committee or panel members. So each one will take responsibility for 2 or 3 or 4 syndicates. Okay? Then that workshop panel member will be the mentor of those 2 or 3 or 4 syndicate leaders. Right? So, now you are the syndicate leader. You get everybody gets their assignment, everybody writes their assignment, they hand it in to you, and then you call a meeting. Then you have the original or the first draft of everybody's answer. Now, you might not be sure, you've done it yourself as well, you've got some uncertainties. So you phone your mentor and say, what is the answer to this? I'm uncertain about that, how must I deal with this? Now, the relationship between the mentor and the syndicate leaders and how the interaction will occur, we don't want to make fixed rules. We think that must be just developed between them. So, you and the mentor may prefer that the mentor is there at the syndicate meeting, or that you only consult as necessary. But also from the communication, one will see how confident you are and how much assistance you need. But if there's any issue or challenge or problem, you don't have to take responsibility and face the syndicate members. The mentor takes the flak. All right? So you will evaluate the answers of everybody in consultation with the mentor. Now, the fact that is going to be so reduces the need for a deputy syndicate leader. So my proposal is that we change the wording to say the syndicates will appoint a deputy to the syndicates may appoint a deputy. So if they want to, that's fine. The deputy can help. If everybody in the syndicate likes the syndicate leader and they like the mentor, they don't need to appoint anybody else, that's also fine. But the ultimate responsibility for determining whether anybody passes or fails their assignment is with the committee member of the workshop who takes responsibility.
Are the faculty members happy with that amendment? Any objection? Fine.
Okay. The way we see it is that when you evaluate the syndicate members' responses, they will fall into one of 3 categories, provisionally. Definitely passed, definitely failed, or uncertain. All right? So really, it's only the uncertain ones that you have to discuss with the mentor. Okay. But now our idea is not to catch people out, and our idea is not to fail people. The reason we are doing this is not so that we can let certain people pass and other people fail. The reason we are doing this is so that everybody who comes to the workshop learns all the core learning points. So now this method has been decided in part by the faculty, so I just want to speak it through, and if there's any objection to this. The workshop committee will draw up a thing called a grading rubric. That is the workshop committee's answer sheet. So the answers to these questions plus the reasons. All right? That will not be provided in the beginning to the syndicate leaders or syndicate members. So everybody in the syndicate will write their answers, you'll get them, and then you have a meeting with them and you discuss it. And we're hoping that in the meeting people who get answers right will be able to explain to other people what their reasons are, and then those people will see the sense of that and will accept it. So we anticipate that in the syndicate meeting, especially because the stuff is really simple, there will arise a consensus and everybody will agree these are the right answers. Then the syndicate leader writes a consensus syndicate report or answer sheet. So everybody in the syndicate agrees those are the answers. Okay? But if there's anything that there's argument about or uncertainty about, then you clarify that with the mentor. And then with the assistance of the mentor, you write your final report. So probably, by the time we come to the follow-up day of the workshop, every syndicate will have the same syndicate report, because they've all been had a chance to write it, think about it, talk about it, discuss it with the mentor, and there it is. Okay? Now, if anybody's first draft is wrong, that doesn't matter. Because after the syndicate meeting, they have the opportunity to submit a revised answer sheet. And we hope that after the syndicate meeting, all the revised answer sheets will be right. Okay? And then, when we come to the concluding day of the workshop, we can't have all 17 or 20 syndicate leaders reporting because of all. But we're probably going to ask randomly 2 or 3 or 4 to stand up and give their responses. And then we are going to invite comments from faculty, and we're going to invite comments and questions and arguments from everybody in the meeting. So the thing will be thoroughly discussed to the point of boredom by the end of the concluding day. And then if there's anybody who feels that their revised answer sheet wasn't exactly what they want, they can do a final answer sheet within 48 hours of the concluding day. And then they will be marked on the last one that they submitted. So if they submitted 1, it's that one, 2, it's the second one, 3, it's the third one.
And who does they submit that to?
The syndicate leader. The syndicate leader evaluates it, gives a mark, and then submits it to the mentor. So the faculty, in the first instance, the workshop committee, will keep a full record of everybody's answer sheets, first, second, and third, for the university purposes. But the evaluation will be on the last one submitted. So I really believe that everybody in the workshop will pass. Okay? Yes.
So what's the difference, because you said something about combined reports versus the individual responses? Can you just clarify?
Okay. So let's say there are 7 people in your syndicate. Everybody gives you an answer sheet.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you discuss it. And based on the discussion, you then write the final. So you can work from your own one. And if there's anything on your one that you want to revise based on the discussion, you do that. Then everybody in the syndicate agrees, we agree with that. Then that becomes the syndicate report.
So with that, following a syndicate report, why would there be a need to go back and then do a revised report and then a final 24-hour report? Okay,
so let's say syndicate member 4 got 3 answers wrong. But now in the syndicate meeting, had a discussion and understood why they were wrong and what the right answers are. But they've already submitted the wrong report, or the flawed report. So they then have the opportunity, if they wish, to submit a revised report, which they've now corrected. And then they will be evaluated, not on the initial report, but on the revised report.
So you don't get evaluated on the syndicate report, you get evaluated on your individual.
Each person is evaluated on their own report.
Okay.
So the syndicate report is for purposes of the syndicate leader being able to report to the combined meeting at the end.
And if you can't reach consensus?
Then you say, this is 4 of us think this and 3 of us think that. That will then be reported to the combined meeting, and then it will be decided there.
So that would only be the difference if there's no consensus reached between the leader's report and the leader's syndicate report, I assume, practically.
Look,
Is that
really for practical purposes, once you've written your own report before the meeting, then you have a meeting, and you decide, oh, I missed this point, so-and-so, and it said this, which is good. You can just update your own report.
Right.
Because you will do it. And then at the end of the day, you say to the syndicate, this is my final report, is everybody happy with that? When everybody everybody says yes, then your final report becomes the formal syndicate report. And if there are differences of opinion that you can't resolve in the meeting, then you note, this is my report, but on this point, those 3 members or that 1 member had a minority view, which is this. Okay. Now, in terms of the grading rubric, we are wary about people cheating. And cheating means getting a good mark but not actually having internalized the crucial learning points. So we're not going to give the grading rubric to anybody until after the concluding day of the workshop. The grading rubric will be kept by the committee panel members who are the mentors. They will refer to that in communicating with syndicate leaders. If we give it to you and you give it to your members, then they can just write over and copy, and the information goes from the eye to the right hand.
Sorry.
And it doesn't go through the brain. Whereas, if you don't have it to see, you don't have it to copy from, you discuss it in the meeting, it goes through your ears, it's got to go through your brain before it comes to your hand or your typing fingers to change your report. Okay? However, after the concluding day, when all the final reports have been given in, then we will distribute the grading rubric to everybody, and then they can use that for future reference. Okay. That is also a new concept. Is that in order with the faculty?
Any objection?
Can you just give me the detail of that concept? Is that a new resolution?
The grading rubric will be retained by the expert panel member and will be used in the process of mentoring. But it will not be provided to course participants until after all the final answer sheets are in. Then a copy will be given to everybody.
I have a question.
Yes,
What happens in cases where there isn't a right or wrong answer, but you give an answer and you give good reason, even
Yes.
though
okay.
it may be different to what the rubric says?
All right. Now that's a very good question. Originally, when I conceptualized the brain injury training, I had a provision that the answer doesn't have to be right. It must be logical.
Yeah.
Okay? But then when I worked out the question I'm going to ask, there isn't the question, the answers have to be right. Because they're so concrete and so fact-based, they have to be right. And if they're not right the first time, they will become right after the meeting, or they will become right after the concluding day. But in the psychology one, the constitutional damages, that is where we're not going to have right or wrong answers. We have different views. So the way that I just want to read you the proposal that I've written exactly for that purpose. Is that whereas I previously had these words, to qualify as satisfactory, the answer and assignment report need not be right, but must be logical and fact-based. I've now changed that to the answers must comply with the criteria specified in the grading rubric.
Right.
So that means at the time of developing that rubric, that expert panel will identify this is an answer that must be right, because it can be right and wrong, or this is an answer which is open to interpretation, so different answers will be tolerated as long as they're logical.
So the rubric will indicate where there is a variance
Yes.
of different answers.
Exactly.
And where there are only exact answers.
Yes, sir.
And the rubric should also say that, you know, you can, that this answer is open to interpretation. You need to substantiate it with a fact, substantiate it with your opinion, and it needs to be logical. And that's how you would mark it then if you're marking it.
So that's exactly right. What the written provision says is this. To qualify as satisfactory, the answers in an assignment report must comply with the criteria specified in the grading rubric, and then at minimum, they should reflect that the participant has applied his or her mind to the question. and should reflect a logical process of reasoning based in fact. Okay. And why that is so, I just also want to read you something that goes hand in hand with that. In order for the syndicate leader to say that a participant complied with the requirements to get a complete evaluation, right, is this: the requirements for complete evaluation will not be onerous or complicated, okay? But they will require demonstration of having paid attention during the first workshop day. So the point that was emphasized in this case, and a person just got it wrong, that means that they just weren't there. Their body was there, but their brain wasn't there. All right? Also, meaningful participation in the syndicate meeting and completion of a satisfactory assignment report. So, if we're having a meeting and there's 5 people sitting here and 1 person is sleeping during the meeting, they didn't attend the meeting. Okay? Or if they were on their cell phone, on Twitter all the time, they weren't in the meeting. Or when there was a discussion, they never answered, they never said anything. When you asked them something, they just were blunt or they didn't participate. So you will maintain a register that says the people that were in the meeting, in person or online, and then for each one of them you will indicate, yes, they did participate meaningfully or they did not. Of course, if somebody is not participating meaningfully, you should try to remedy that. So you'll say, Advocate Smith, will you please pay attention? Because if you're not interested in the meeting, I've got to mark that you did not participate meaningfully.
So my little IP, you have to say that to like a senior counsel.
Yes.
Yes, and you're going to enjoy it.
But just remember to say it slowly and clearly.
Yes, Eleanor?
Can I make a suggestion perhaps that that's put out that each member knows that that's what the rules are. You don't
Yes.
spend time looking at your cell phone, you don't do this,
Yeah.
you don't do that.
I also think that you shouldn't necessarily say, Advocate Smith, can you pay attention? I think it might be better to say, just a reminder that everyone needs to pay attention.
You know, what would also nice is if you, all course participants, tell them, are you going to tell them the role of the syndicate leaders?
Yes. Okay, so everything I've told you now everything I've told you now is recorded in what I've got here.
Okay.
I'm going to give that to all of you.
Okay.
And then, if there are any suggestions or problems or uncomfortablenesses, and you want me to change this before the workshop, we can do that or make it more clear. But on the day of the workshop, everybody will also be doing this.
And explain, because they may not read it.
Exactly. So what you are going to get is a written list of all these resolutions and explanations. And if there's anything we've explained here or anything we forgot to explain that is important, please tell me so we can put it in writing. So we've got a proper written record of the functioning of the syndicates, the duties of the syndicate leaders. So maybe let me just read to you what is written here that is relevant to this. Okay. Expert panel members will function in a mentorship role to assist the syndicate leaders in the performance of their duties relating to the assignments for the applicable workshop. Each expert panel member will take responsibility for the necessary number of syndicates, which in practice will be probably between 2 and 4. Okay? And the final number will depend on how many people actually register at the end of the day. Then, the faculty will allocate students attending the workshop to multidisciplinary working groups or syndicates. So we are going to try as far as possible to have as many different disciplines in the syndicate, so that you get the benefit of cross-pollination, which will preferably be made up of 8 to 10 students each. The geographical location of each student will be taken into account in these allocations.
Just
so there's
speak up a
many.
bit. Right.
The geographical location of each student will be taken into account so that as many as possible of the syndicate leaders are in syndicate members are in close proximity to one another to facilitate meetings.
How do you know that? If people say that
On the registration of everybody, they've said what town they're in. Okay. Each syndicate will be provided with a video links online meeting license so that members who are unable to attend syndicate meetings in person will be able to attend the meetings online. Okay? The discussed the faculty will appoint a syndicate leader and the syndicates may elect a deputy. Right. Then also, just in terms of technological stuff, syndicate leaders may recruit any one or more members of the syndicate to assist with any of these duties. So if you are computer illiterate and you've got a millennial in your syndicate, you can ask them to control the video links meeting. Okay?
But not evaluating the
No,
assignment.
no.
You still be the boss.
So if you want somebody to help with phoning people, or with recording presence, or taking minutes, or doing the online technical stuff, you're welcome to do that. But now let's get to the duties of syndicate leaders. It is recorded like this, and I think this is what I've explained. The duties of the syndicate leader will be to communicate with syndicate members, conduct and review assignment reports prepared by each student, arrange syndicate meetings, arrange online participation in meetings via video links, maintain an attendance register for syndicate meetings, note meaningful participation by each student or otherwise in the meeting, discuss the assignment reports at syndicate meetings, determine, together with the deputy syndicate leader and mentoring faculty member, whether each assignment report is complete, i.e. satisfactory, or incomplete, i.e. unsatisfactory. So you're only going to give one of two marks, complete or incomplete. And incomplete, the hope is with mentoring and revision, it will become complete. Okay? But, and I said, some of them will clearly be complete, some will clearly be incomplete, and others will be uncertain, but between you and the mentor, you determine are they complete or not. Okay? Then encourage and mentor students with incomplete assignment reports to revise and improve their work to complete status, and compile a final syndicate assignment report for presentation at the concluding day of the workshop. So those are the duties of the syndicate. Now, because there are always people who moan and complain, all right? If a student is dissatisfied with any determination of the syndicate leader, deputy syndicate leader and mentoring faculty member, he or she may appeal to the workshop leader and expert panel. Determinations by the workshop leader and expert panel in relation to the successful or unsuccessful completion of assignments and other requirements will be binding, final and binding. Now, people who participate in this and do it properly will get a certificate of completion from UCT. Now, our responsibility is to tell UCT who actually passed. Right? So you are going to be instrumental in that, you're going to help in that, but the final decision, if there's any dispute, will be the committee that runs the workshop.
Will there be a certificate of attendance?
Okay, now, Judge,
Or just completion, non-completion?
okay, we had in the foundations course, we had certain people who attended the whole course but didn't want to write the exams.
Yes.
Okay, and they were given a certificate of attendance.
Correct.
We, in November, we said we're going to transfer that process into do the same thing here. But there are reasons, because there has been a lot of discussion and comment and agreement and disagreement by many people about that whole issue, that I want us to revise our thinking there. Now that is one of the items on the agenda for after the syndicate leaders meeting. So if you like, I can deal with that now. I can tell you my proposal.
Just tell us your proposal.
And people can then argue or change it later on. Okay. So my proposal is the following. The purpose of these workshops is to train people how to do things. We can't train people how to do things if they don't do things. Right. So now, if somebody wants, and there are some people who want to do this, they want to come to listen and participate, but they don't want to do this assignment work. Okay? They are welcome to come and be in the workshop, but they get no certificate because they didn't complete the work.
But they get CPD points.
They get CPD points. Okay? But to get a certificate from the university, you must be there for day one, you must have done the assignment work properly, you must be there for day two. Then you get a certificate of completion. And we do away with certificates of attendance. Because, and thinking about it, the people who have said, them and some of their, especially senior colleagues, don't want to do the syndicate work because they know how to do it. They don't need to waste their time doing stuff they already know. That's what I heard. And that is legitimate. But those people don't need a certificate from the university to get work. So they can come to the workshop for whatever reason they want. They can come and share their knowledge, they can come and learn, they can come and enjoy the camaraderie, but they don't need a certificate. But my feeling is that to get a certificate from the university, they must do the work and do it properly. And to have some people showing a certificate of completion and some showing a certificate of attendance, there won't be clarity of what the difference is. So my proposal is we do away with certificates of attendance.
Just for CPD points, people
Yeah.
will need some certificates, so
Yes.
with some know they
Okay, so let me just clarify the language then. UCT is applying for CPD for all of this work. Okay? The UCT will issue CPD letters, they don't call them certificates. So UCT issues CPD letters to healthcare practitioners. The legal practitioners who know everything forever don't need CPD points. Okay? So the legal practitioners won't get anything. But the healthcare practitioners who need CPD points, they will get CPD points for being there. Okay? And we will have CPD points for day one. We've also applied for CPD points for the assignment and CPD points for day two. So if a healthcare practitioner is only there on day 1 and 2 but doesn't do the assignment, they'll only get those points.
This is what's going to be a big question. What happens if somebody has enrolled, they want to do everything, but they can't make day 1 or day 2?
Okay. Very good question, and we've got an answer for that. The whole thing is going to be video recorded. It's going to go onto Panopto, which is the online platform. It will be recorded live, so that directly after the workshop it will already be on the Panopto platform. So if you're not there, you contact the people who are registered during the course, as them. They confirm you've paid for the course. They give you the details so that you can view it. So the workshop is on Saturday. You can watch it on Sunday.
What about the meeting if they can't make the meeting? The syndicate meeting. You have to organize a syndicate leader to make sure that all 8 people can attend.
Okay, can we just deal with the first one first? Well, I'll get to that. That's another one. So the thing is that in order to do the assignment, the person who can't be there on Saturday 1 will have to view the stuff before, early enough that they can do this assignment. That's why we've got it like that, that they can view it from the Sunday. Alright? And if you can't get hold of anyone on the day or whatever, on the Monday, the offices are open, you can get it on the Monday. Okay? The syndicate meetings, your job is to call a meeting that everybody can attend. Okay. So if somebody can't attend that particular day, if it was me, if I was a syndicate leader, I'd say, okay, I'll have the 7 who can come on that day, and I'll have a separate one-to-one meeting with the person who can't. I know that. But that's for you to work out how you do it.
So as long as we cater for every
You must cater for
it's a
everybody.
good thing you produced those numbers.
Okay. Judge, I think that I've now said everything I need to about the syndicate leaders' jobs. Can we maybe ask the online people if they've got questions?
Okay.
So,
Henry, any questions?
Just hold on. You've got to give me time to unmute people. Okay.
Henry, any questions to what Herman has said?
None, Judge, thank you.
Ian Dutton? Ian Dutton?
He's not online anymore.
He's not online.
Nope. He's gone.
Okay. Ethelwyn, Stellenberg, any questions?
Yeah, I don't have any questions at this stage, thank you.
Thank you. And Hans, any questions?
Yeah, I would like to know how much time after the workshop do the final assignments have to be complete?
How much time after the workshops do the final assignments have to be complete?
48 hours.
48 hours, Hans.
And if I'm not there for one of the meetings, can I do it beforehand and give it to the syndicate leader?
Please just repeat that.
If I'm not going to be for one particular work, because I'm going to be in Croatia one Saturday, can I get the assignment beforehand and get it by form to the syndicate leader before I go?
If you can't make one of the meetings, can you give his assignment to the syndicate leader for the meeting?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you can.
That sounds good. Then I'm packing my bag.
Okay, and the next one was the comment of the online.
We've still got,
You've got Rosa Bredenkamp.
Rosa Bredenkamp?
no, she's off. I don't know how to say this one.
Yeah.
Rama Dugawani. Sorry. Professor Tabani.
Professor Tabani?
He's gone. Okay, no, that's it. Lida Muller. I don't, yeah.
Is Lina Muller there?
Yes.
All right. Lina Muller, are you there? Can you hear us?
She's replied no questions.
Okay, no question. Thank you. All right. Susan, you have a question.
Thanks. I just want to clarify in my mind in terms of the assignment, because I understand there's UCT requirements and there's faculty requirements, and we need to meet both. So that first assignment that comes to the faculty up to the syndicate meeting,
Yes.
that would go in as is, raw,
Yes.
to the faculty to be marked. If at that meeting, anyone in that meeting then decides, oops, that was not the best work, they can give in a revised one, but that will be sent in separately. But that first one goes in raw, doesn't matter if they scream and shout.
It goes in. And the necessity for that is that they did the work. Even if it's wrong, it must prove they applied their mind, they paid attention, they did the work.
So strictly speaking, the syndicate leader needs those prior to the meeting.
Yes. Or at the latest at the beginning of the meeting. But that is what the syndicate leader will evaluate to say this person just wiped something on this, or they actually thought and did it. And then if it's wrong, that doesn't matter because it can be revised.
So then each participant needs to have 2 copies of their assignment. Because if you're going to be discussing it in the meeting, you probably need your assignment in front of you as well.
Sorry, and what happens if you've organised the meeting and they don't do the work?
Okay, if the person hasn't done the assignment, then they fail.
Okay, so they just outright fail, no.
So let me just read this to you clearly.
Because that's quite clear. Didn't have time to do the assignments.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Piggyback and everyone.
So the requirements for a complete evaluation, as I said, will not be onerous or complicated, but will require demonstration, number 1, of having paid attention during the first workshop day, attendance at and meaningful participation in the syndicate meeting, and completion of a satisfactory assignment report. So if a person comes to the syndicate meeting and says, oh, sorry, I didn't have time to do the report, then they fail. Because they must do it.
Even if they participate and they submit a report thereafter.
Yeah.
No, they must do the work. They can't come to the meeting and crib the answers from the other people in the meeting. They must work out the answers based on having attended the workshop day. They can, the notes are available, and the fact sheet is there, they must look at it.
You must stress that as well, because I'm sure we haven't come to a conversation.
So there's no,
Just a minute, one at a time.
we can't have piggybackers and easy riders.
Just Karina and then Susan.
He actually answered the question because I wanted to know if there will be notes.
Yeah.
He already said there will be notes.
Susan?
Just to clarify, so if there's no report 1, There will not be a report 2 or 3 for that
Yes.
person, end of story.
End of story. They didn't do their work, so they didn't meet the attendance, because that is part of the attendance requirement. You must attend day 1, you must do the work, you must be at the meeting, you must be at day 2. That is the attendance.
Any questions? Yes.
So, let's say someone doesn't do the assignment, but they participate in the syndicate meeting. Would they be doing so for CPD points? Are there CPD points allocated to syndicate discussions and meetings?
There are some CPD points allocated to the assignment period, but if you didn't do the assignment, you get 0 points for that.
Lindy, any questions?
No questions.
Any further questions?
Sorry.
Thank you. All right, well, that deals with that aspect. And, oh, there's another one. Karina?
I'm sorry, Anna, did you discuss, if somebody can't be at the second day?
It's the same thing. The first day and the second day will be video recorded. Okay? So if you can't be there, you can get the video recording and watch that.
We track that.
We track that, yes.
As syndicate leaders, do we track that?
No, you do the portion in between the 2 meetings.
Okay.
The faculty will have to track who attended the second day.
Okay.
And by the way, that brings me to an important point that we didn't think of, so thank you very much for that. You see, at the end of the first workshop day, the video recording will be raw. It will just be what happened. Now, if you want to package that one day into an online e-learning course, there has to be editing. So dead times have to be cut out. There's got to be headings to put the context or maybe an introduction or something. But also for the online course, we have to have every now and then, the thing must stop and there must be a little quiz. And people can't carry on if they don't pass the quiz. So those periodic quizzes are necessary to confirm that the person actually watched the video and paid attention. Now, for the video recording of the first day, we don't have to have that because the people will need to watch it in order to do the syndicate assignment and check there. But if people can't attend the second day and they want to get recognition of attendance for the second day, then the video recording of the second day will have to be edited to the extent that there are quizzes in it to confirm attendance. Now, that editing process takes time. So the video for the first day actually will be available immediately, but the video of the second day will need to be edited by the insertion of those quizzes, and that will take a bit of time.
But how does that impact with the assignment? Because that's 48 hours afterwards.
Well, if you can't be there the second day, then you must hope that you get your assignment right off the syndicate meeting. I don't see how otherwise we can do it.
Yes.
So the second day is the second workshop day.
Yeah.
Right? So how would that differ from the first workshop day? Why wouldn't it also just be raw and you would see it immediately afterwards?
Because
will be available.
Because to get your certificate from UCT, you need to attend both workshop days. Now, if you don't attend day 1 because you're overseas, and on the Sunday you're going to watch the video of day 1, you will have to do that before you do your assignment work. So satisfactory participation in the assignment will confirm that you actually watched the video. All right? Now, the video for day 2, if I say, okay, I can't be there on day 2, I want the video. Then I get the video but I don't watch it. How does the faculty know whether you watched it? So they can confirm you attended.
Can I just...
Yes.
So the video will be available immediately after the second day, but raw, without the quiz. So you could watch it so you can change your assignment, complete your assignment, but you will not get confirmation of attendance and you will not get CPD points until you've watched it and completed the quiz.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
That's a good point actually. Okay. So there Ashley has answered what I couldn't work out. If you want to revise your assignment, you can do it on a raw footage, but that won't confirm your requirements.
Karina?
Sorry, just another question. People who can't attend the 1 day or 2 day, whatever, where do they apply for that? Or where do
Okay,
they?
the whole course is administered by Ashley. Ashley is the boss of Ashley. Okay? The people who work with her are Shelley and Gwen. Okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the forum the email addresses and telephone numbers of Ashley, Shelley and Gwen. Is there somebody else that we must put with?
No, that's perfect.
That's
That's
your
fine.
right.
Yeah.
So anything about the thing you can get from one of those three people.
One of those people. Yeah. Any questions from the faculty? No. Any further questions from those people online? Anyone? Just a minute.
Not from me here, Judge, thank you.
Okay.
From my side, Herman and Judge, I probably would like to have, in writing all the detail of what we are speaking. At times we are losing some of what you're saying. Is that possible?
Yes, I have written it all. I've got it here on my computer. So I will compile all of this into a document for explaining syndicate work and syndicate leaders.
And it has been recorded, so we'll make that video available.
Oh yes, the other thing is this.
Thank you so much.
For those people who are not here today, they will get the video recording of this meeting, and they will also get the document that I'm going to circulate to everybody.
So they will hear what Herman has said as well. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now,
Does that complete?
before we get to this, the brain workshop meeting is very short. We will have that and carry on.
All right, fine. Yes.
So the next item